Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of Hitting the Bars. My name's Keltie, and beside me is the summer hater herself, Sav. Just kidding.
Cancel me! I am not a summer hater. I love it, but where I live, it gets really hot, sticky, humid. But we were saying that we do love summer, and that Keltie was bringing up that in summer, it was like because we had school break or whatever, we all have this like laid back, chill mindset.
Yeah.
You know, the days are longer. You said people are turning a blind eye when you're on lunch.
Yeah, just like CEOs are just pretending like it's okay. Take your longer lunch. Leave the office a little early. Don't work as hard. Views are down. Accountants have gone missing. Work projects get extended. Nothing's due in July. Obviously, there's a couple of you, like ER nurses. Praise for you. Your job probably gets crazier from boat incidences. But there's just a sense of do it tomorrow. Do it in July. Do it in, September.
You know, when we lived in New York for the summer, everyone kept saying, oh, it's dead. It's dead right now. And I was like, no, it's not. Are you kidding me? And so I think that is wild that in New York, everyone goes to the Hamptons, or I have no idea where New Yorkers go, but they leave and like it's still a crowded city, which blows me away. But 4th of July, not a lot of people were in the city. So like we went to one of our favorite bars and it was like dead. And we were talking to the bartender and she's like, oh yeah, everyone's gone. They leave the city for the 4th. But our apartment was set up to where we could watch Macy's, like the Macy's Day Parade does fireworks. And we had this balcony and we watched it with Bentley, and weirdly Bentley does not mind fireworks.
Crazy.
He looks at you. He's very much like a follower where he's like, he looks at mom or dad and he's like, are you freaking out? Yeah. And we're like, and so he's like, okay. And he's never been bothered by that. But yeah, the three of us watched it and it was beautiful and glorious, and I love a New York summer.
Oh, and honestly, anywhere in the summer. There's a freeness to it. But it's funny you said that as a bartender. That was the one time. The pro and the con is like, even in my career or as a bartender, July comes and like, the money's tight. So you got to save up the few months. So hopefully you've been saving up the last few months. Because
everyone's gone?
Yeah, everyone goes to their lake house, or everyone just goes camping, or just, do you know what I mean? They drank all day on the patio, or they're out of the beach. Like, you don't have to be in a bar to have fun kind of thing. There's like versus in the wintertime, it's like, well, if we want to have fun, the bar's warm.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Speaking of all the fun, we just thought as your token fitness lovers, let's come together. A lot of you are traveling or it's summertime, but just some nice ways to stay fit. This isn't the time to get a PR, but like, how do you just at least maintain all the work you've done and have like a fit girl summer, whether traveling or staying in the city amongst the heat? And we thought we'd give you 7 hard-hitting tips.
I love it. Kick us off. I'll kick us off. So my first tip is, and guys, my theme for summer is not Puerto Rico because it's very hot. I think of the good old Pacific Northwest that I grew up in. And my favorite thing in the summer is going for walks early. Like, I've said this in previous podcasts too. I just like getting up early and going for walks. When I'm home, I do this even in Puerto Rico, and I take Bentley for a walk. Millie and I do sunrise walks, and it just like motivates you to kind of get your day started. But make yourself a cup of coffee or treat yourself to iced coffee. Bring your pup, bring your cat, whatever you want. Meet a friend and go for a lovely, beautiful walk around a lake. And you could do this at sunset too. And also it's just hot. So that's why I always recommend early enough for the animals to feel comfortable.
I love that. Another tip, especially for my traveling girlies, and you've heard this 100 times, but get yourself a security water bottle. I'm not going to lie, I don't like the Stanley water bottles. I think like the straw things could spill. They give me 2012 Pinterest vibes.
I said they are chuggy.
Yeah, so I was like, I think they're, sometimes you see a trend, and if you love it, it's super, like, I have my big jug Lulu one, which a lot of people think are just chuggy, so I'm like, respect. Sometimes basic things we love. Pick your basic. But I do think the Stanley Cup is one of those things in 3 years we're going to look back at and be like, yeah, that was ugly. But people say that about my Lulu one. Either way, get a water bottle you love. It's part of your aesthetic. It looks cute next to your iPhone, and you want to carry it around as a little accessory, fits in your bag, and just stay hydrated. Because I know for myself in the summertime, you get that dip of energy midday, and you're just like, oh, I don't even want to go out. I'm like, you don't sacrifice any sun after we've been depressed all year with the lack of sun. And I was like, a lot of times that just lull is dehydration. Just get yourself a security water bottle.
Also, remember to wash your security water bottle.
Yes.
Because it gets gross.
I just bought, I don't even want to say this, I bought those like from Amazon. Like it was like $20, the different size brushes to wash inside your water bottle. Yeah, do it. Because I was like, oh.
Was it gross?
Yeah, it was just like.
Like a proper dishwashing thing does not do it justice.
No.
You gotta scrub that puppy.
You got to get in there.
Next up is we love a hot girl walk.
It's a symbol. And I would even say just, I know we introed it. Walk as much as possible. Whether it be midday with your girls and you're in the city, appreciate your city again. Like I grow to like hate any city I live in, and you walk around and you kind of see it in a new light. It's something active you can do with your friends. Also in a new city. Or when you're traveling, you've heard it 100 times, but the easiest way to just like get in a workout and not sacrifice your limited time at a new place is just to walk and explore it. And I think the token thing is you go to Spain or Italy for the summer and you're like, how did I walk like 25,000 steps? Like, because you're just seeing it. And I think it's such an easier way than in a car or on bikes, another option. But I think just walk and explore a city. You get to feel part of the city, like especially in New York or Rome is so fun. You're in the hustle and bustle, and if that's all you do for the day, that's fine. We're not trying to get PRs, we're not growing our booties, we're just getting in some good movement.
Yeah, even you could walk to dinner. Like when Michael and I were having the last summer in New York, we never once took the subway, and we did it in the winter, but we would either bike with city bikes, but that can be dangerous, so if you're not comfortable with that, walk and just choose like a restaurant that's a couple miles away or whatever, and just plan out like it's gonna take me an hour or so to walk, and then make it fun and like have pit stops. Like we grab coffee, we grab a treat, we grab froyo, or we grab drinks, it was like we'd start at 3 and like walk to dinner, and like it just was a fun thing to be outside, get exercise. Bentley got to come with us, and then you get to eat and drink.
Next up is when you're traveling, pack some cute workout clothes. Like a couple outfits you're like excited to wear, and you're like, whether you want to take Instagram photo or not, but you're just pumped to wear this outfit, because then there's something you're going to use it because you have limited space. And I'm going to add on to that, embrace that orthopedic shoes are in. I won't lie, for a little while I was kind of against the New Balance thing. I was like, I'm fine, like whatever, everyone has them. But I was like, this is such a beautiful time that like the it shoes are really good for our feet. Really easy. Even I was like, oh, what shoes should I bring to Houston? And I was like, your New Balance. You can dress them up with a pair of jeans. You can wear them with a skirt, and you can wear them with anything. And they're so comfy to walk in, and good for you to, not just comfy, like good for you to walk in. I was like, embrace a comfortable shoe, cute gym outfit moment.
I like it.
Do you have any go-to comfortable shoes, walking shoes in that sense, or outfits, your go-to?
My current walking shoe is like an Adidas Ultra Boost. I always walk in those. Anything that you have like a comfort shoe that you won't get blisters, wear high socks. That way, like if you're walking 9 miles, you can be good or whatever. And anything baggy and flowy. I don't like tight things in the summer.
True.
Where I like could chafe or something like that. Our next one is, in case maybe you're on vacay, you're traveling, and you want to eat all the good food, and we should eat all the good food. But if it like stresses you out, constantly having bad food, or you're getting like bad heartburn because everything's fried, whatever it may be, I always challenge you to like choose one meal that like feels normal to you. Like your body can handle it. It's like your digestive system's like, thank you. Usually that's like breakfast for me, is like I'll choose a pretty normal meal that I'll have, and then I'll have the fun ones for lunch and dinner, or opposite. Maybe I'll do, lunch will be like a quick bite that's like healthy. And there's so many fun, healthy spots as well that you can feel like you can get that and like kind of get your money's worth. I know I love in New York, like Sweet Greens, they have a ton of salad spots, they have sandwich spots that are just so tasty, Mediterranean. That's fun, but they're still like, it's not as much of the fried constantly, if that makes sense.
Oh, fully. And something I do just in terms of nutrition is like, I just kind of try and be mindful. I was like, have you had a couple servings of fruits and vegetables today? Have you had some protein? And you're like, of course you're going to easily get some carbs and fats on vacation no matter what. So I just kind of mindfully think of that. And as long as every day I'm getting in some micronutrients, some fiber, protein, you're pretty solid. And then, if one day you don't, like I've had many times you travel and all there was like Ibiza, there's Burger King. And I was like, so I had to make the most out of it, and you'll be okay. If it's 1 or 2 days, it's not like you're downhill. You did the best you could. And then, the next opportunity you have to have a smoothie and a good bulgur bowl, hop on that.
Mm-hmm. What did you call it?
Bulgur bowl?
What's a bulgur bowl?
Oh, yeah, I guess that was very not North American to me. Like a rice bowl.
Oh.
But like with bulgur.
A Buddha bowl.
Buddha bowl, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We always call it, me and Megs always call it bulgur bowl. Because we always do bulgur instead of rice.
Bulgur?
It's like a wheat. It's kind of like rice.
Barley?
It's like, kind of, like barley. But it's
okay.
like big. It's way more common in Sweden than that.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, they look like big puffy oats. Or, barley. It's
I don't know if I've ever had that. Okay.
Yeah, I've only ever had it in Sweden, but I love it. Planning fit girl days. So this is something me and my girlfriend started doing, and we're kind of on the stage. We still love going out, and we're going to Miami at the end of summer, and we're going to hit up 11 and live, and we're going to go to all the fancy sushi places, and I'm going to be walking out of space at 8 a.m., and we have those days. Like,
You're going to hit up the strip club 11?
Yeah. Like, I'm like fully for this. Like, we're going to do the whole 9 yards, and we'll let you guys know how it goes. But with that being said, we've also come to the terms of, like, if you do every night like that, you leave so miserable and drained, and you come back from vacation needing a vacation. So we usually have like 1 or 2 days, that's that. And then we also want to get the most of our vacation, so we plan these fit girl days. So one example, our most recent one, we did a cold plunge and sauna. I know it sounds crazy, but it was such like a fun thing to do in the middle of the day that made us feeling good, especially if you're jet lagged. Find a cold plunge or something. If you're on a cold vacation, go hit up a sauna. And then we found some like really good, like, if I was living in that city, what would be where all the that girls go after yoga? That we found those places, so it's like fun. Every city, LA obviously has them, but every city has like the cool healthy places. Impact Kitchen in Toronto, so we found those. So we kind of planned a couple days that we super looked forward to, but at the end of the day, we feel energized and revived. And so when we hit up 11, I'm ready to get my twerk on, because we're fully energized.
I love it. Also, Miami tip for you.
Please
You should go do Coconut Grove.
Yes.
Have you been there?
No, but me and all my girlfriends have been meaning to ask you where to go.
Okay,
but
Coconut Grove is amazing. You can jet ski, you can paddleboard around there if you want. I call it, and maybe people in Miami are cringing at this, I call it like the Orange County of Miami, where it's like quiet, away from Brickell, if that's where you're staying. And so like Michael and I, they have like markets, like Sunday markets. It's just like a little bit more wholesome, family friendly. And then like Key Biscayne has like beautiful beaches, and you can just like find these random local beaches, just look into them, Uber out there, and just have a day.
I love that. And then another one, also to go off with the hydration, is electrolyte packs. Now you can just pick up electrolytes anywhere, but we've talked in a previous podcast, Liquid IVs in the States, or I Like Element, Ghost has a bunch. Just put those in your bags, always have them with you, because I know for myself, I've been walking around a city and you just feel drained. It's been like an hour or two, and you don't really want to step in and get a meal. You're not like that. You're just like drained. It's like often you just need some electrolytes. You sweat so much more than normal, so just pop one of those in your security water bottle if you have it, or just grab a water bottle, something, because your electrolytes can get imbalanced. And if you want to avoid a hangover, because the last thing you want is a beautiful sunny day and you're trapped inside throwing up. And one of the easiest ways is to get your electrolytes in. Have one before the bar, maybe throw one in your vodka soda. And then and honestly, my biggest trick, one before I go out, one before I go bed, electrolyte if I'm out drinking, and then just make sure to drink, a glass of water, half a glass between drinks.
So you double up on it?
Oh, yeah. I've I usually have 1 a day minimum, 2 if I have an active day. If I have an active day and I'm drinking, I've had up to 4. Would not recommend, but I'm like a sweaty mess person who sweats a lot and needs a lot of sodium. But yeah, I've had up to 3, and guess what? I wake up no hangover.
I love it.
And then sometimes in the morning, when you need that greasy food, and often that does help, but you also need the salt. Like, I know I crave like a salty egg, buttery sourdough. Oh, that hits the spot. What is your go-to hangover food?
I feel like when I'm hungover, I always pay for it later. Like, I'm like, oh, this sounds so good. And it's usually like a bagel and cream cheese. But then I'll feel like awful after it. Just like my body reacts like maybe you feel sick right when you wake up. No, I have this like horrible thing where I'll feel fine and then I'll progressively feel sick. Yeah. And that's the worst. I can't remember. Luckily, I can't remember the last time I had like a hangover. It's been a while. I feel like with age, you learn to like cut yourself off. Yeah. Like even at my wedding, like I really didn't drink that much except for the wedding night. But even then I was still fine. I wasn't like proper hungover. I'm trying to think if even Michael's been really hungover. But usually we'll go for a bagel, cream cheese, or like our favorite thing is there's this nice brunch spot at this resort that we live near, and we'll like every Sunday go and have brunch together and just phones are off, have coffee, even hungover or not. It's lovely.
Oh my God, I love that. And I know another thing with like getting older, you also learn the things that get you hungover.
Yes.
Like wine. I love wine, don't get me wrong, but if we're having more than one glass,
Really?
maybe like two, I'm like, if I have more than one, I will pay for it so badly. My body, and my mom's the same way, so it must be something like genetics. Like occasionally I'll go to Vineyard and I think, nah, I just accept it that I'm hungover. And so if I'm drinking wine more than one glass, be like, Keltie's accepting defeat for tomorrow. And that's like the only time I really get hungover. Or I have a tendency to, you've seen me, I dance. Like, and when I say I dance, I jump up and down. And sometimes I think I like am so active when I drink. And even if I just ate as much as I normally did and then drank, and I wake up like slightly hypoglycemic. And so if I just need, and I feel sick. And like, and then a lot of people are like, I don't understand this because we're all built different. Like when people are like, oh, I wake up sick, I can't eat. I'm like, no. I'm like shaking and I feel like I'm going to throw up, but I realize that's because I need to eat so much. And yeah, I just eat several slices of bread, toast, salt, egg, and then I'm usually good. Unless I drink wine. And then I'm on my deathbed for a couple weeks.
That's sad because I'm a big wino. And to know that you can't wino with me makes me sad.
Oh, I will do it. But if I have more than one glass, so if we're getting drunk and I have to get drunk with wine, so I'm more likely, if we are drinking and it's a beautiful place and it's I'll have like one and I'll sip at it and I'll enjoy it. And it's unfortunate. And I always feel bad because people are like, let's go have a glass of wine. I was like, I'd love to, but like, I don't. It hurts me in the pain. I don't know what it is, but like some people are like, I can't drink. People are like, I can't drink beer. I get bloated. I don't get bloated from beer. It's weird. I blame the Irishness.
Yeah. Did you know, I heard red wine, my mom's friend told me this, has caffeine in it and keeps you up.
What?
That's what she told me.
I need to Google this. I don't believe this.
But I always have red wine at night. And she told me this. And I was like, you're kidding me. So she said she has white wine.
0 grams of milk. Okay, let's ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT.
But I was like, is that why I feel crummy and I can't fall asleep? Or is it because I have alcohol in my body? And yeah, she just told me that was like her go-to is she'll have like white wine. And usually Michael and I just stock up on red wine and we'll have like on the weekends or whatever, we'll split a bottle together or something. And I was like, what? And so now I can't stop thinking about it when I have red wine and it freaks me out.
Okay, we're fact checking this via ChatGPT. No, red wine does not contain caffeine. Caffeine is a natural stimulant that is found in coffee, tea, and some soft drinks. Red wine, on the other hand, is from fermented grapes and does not contain caffeine. However, red wine does contain alcohol, which is a depressant that can have an impact on the body's central nervous system.
Okay, I'm glad we debunked that. Yep. I need to text Patty and say, have at it with your red wine. Because she told that and Michael and I were like, what? Like, I can't be having caffeine every night before I go to bed. That makes me happy. Okay, I can sleep at peace now.
Is there ever, and I'm trying to think of, because I know a couple moments like this has happened to me, like someone who's a bit older than you tells you some random fact, and you just don't fact check it, and you just accept it, and then you start telling other people.
Literally,
and it becomes this narrative, and like so many things, and then you've told all these people, and it just keeps going on, and everyone takes it. And like you said, you've been depriving yourself of red wine simply because this one thing. And it's always someone in their 50s, I feel, telling us. It is always some auntie, and it's like this, and you're like, oh, I'm never having red wine before bed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My dad is notorious for this. He always, and also we've learned my dad is a liar about half the things. Straight liar. I don't know what goes on in that man's brain sometimes, because he'll say something, and I've been there. Mm-hmm. We all know, it's like an ongoing joke with my father, that we've been at whatever story he's telling, and I'm like, that never happened. Mm-hmm. And it'll be like a story that happened 30 minutes ago. Like, I'll give an example. We're driving to Home Depot and I dodge an iguana that's on the side of the road. And then we all look in the back mirror and this iguana gets hit sadly by another car. And we just saw it like bing, fly off into the edge. And I think it was okay. I think it was just its tail. And my dad explained it to Michael when we got home. He said, he flew in the air, 10 feet in the air. He was gone. And we're like, my stepmom and I were like, what? No, we were just there. So moral of the story is my dad loves to say like these tales that he hears or these things. And he loves the news. And I'm always like, Dad, half of that's fake. Yeah. So always fact check my dad. If you ever meet him, he's not telling the truth half the time. He doesn't know. I think he, honest to God, either loves to story tell that way or freak you out and be so extreme, or he just doesn't know.
Okay, I have to ask if this happened down in the States or if this is just a Canadian thing, because this is the best example I can think of, is like someone told you something and just carried on like telephone to the masses. Do you remember Stride gum?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was like my go-to gum in like junior high or high school or whatever. I must have been junior high. And I remember someone telling me, and it had like this like paper wrapper around it, the individual. And I remember I was in a bus and them being like, yeah, no, that the gum, the wraparound is edible. And I remember everyone being like, oh. And to this day, like, and I remember hearing that. And then so we all ate. And I don't know if it was just that person who told me. But then like I heard other people had said it. And so yeah, I ate the gum with the paper. And then everyone else there, and we all had out, and we were like, oh yeah, like, you
For
can.
how long?
So this is where I was going with it. So it was the one time, and I remember chewing it and being like, oh yeah, you can eat it for paper. And I kind of did it for a couple weeks and ate it with the paper. And then like, it was just a well-known thing. And then one day I kind of realized, I was like, it's not really dissolving. It's just kind of being broken up. You know what I mean? If you were to put paper in your mouth. And then like, I think this is before like Google. So I was like young when this happened. And yeah, I just remember just outgrowing Stride. But I would tell people, I'd be, you know, you can eat the paper. And they're like, really? And they will. And so it was this narrative up in Canada that everyone could eat the paper Stride gum.
Wow.
And you couldn't. So
Well, I guess you could.
You could, but
it wasn't
like
meant for that.
it was just chunks of paper in my gum.
Maybe that weirdo guy was just like really into eating paper.
Maybe, and just one. I think it was just some dumb idiot one time told some people.
He's messing with you guys.
and then it spread.
It's kind of like, did you ever watch Glee growing up?
The first season.
Okay, the first season it happened where there's this rumor you can get pregnant if you're in a hot tub with a man.
yes.
And she like, the guy believes that they got pregnant because they were making out in a hot tub or whatever. Those are like silly rumors that you hear at one time, and it, depending on how old you are or whatever, you like think it's true.
That unlocked another one. When I was in high school, someone told me that if you drank a Red Bull in the hot tub, you'd get drunk. And they told everyone, and went over my whole high school, that something about like, because this was when Red Bull was like, just because Red Bull was illegal in Canada for a long time. There was some like taurine, I think it was illegal. So it took like several years for it to come up, but we saw it. And this is like quite common for a lot of things in Canada. And so when it came, it was like this forbidden thing. Like everyone was like, it's bull semen is what's in it. And there was all the, that was what, and I think there's actually something about, taurine has something to do with cows. I'm completely butchering it. We'll fact check this. But I know there's something about that. I don't know if that was the original, you know, like Coca-Cola used to come from cocaine and it doesn't anymore. I don't know if it's something like that. But yeah, and they were like, when it heats up in your body and you're like in the sauna, it like produces alcohol. And so all these underage kids were like drinking Red Bulls in hot tubs thinking they were getting drunk. And you know, when you're young, like I remember the first time I was drinking, I would only have like a sip of alcohol and be like, I'm drunk. So like all of us dumb high school kids were like, I'm so wasted from my Red Bull in the hot tub.
That is so funny. You're like laughing as your parents are like, enjoy your energy drinks. Yeah. And you're like, haha, we're getting drunk. Yeah.
Well, I was probably like, oh, I'm so wasted. I'm going to text this boy. Being dead sober.
Yeah. That's like, let's think of other ridiculous ones. Like if you eat a watermelon seed, a watermelon will grow in your tummy.
Or gum. It's going to stay in your gut forever.
Is that true?
I bet you it does take longer. Okay. What should I say? How long does it take your body to digest the gum?
Your tummy. We've all been there and eaten gum.
I know, and you feel so sick when you have
How much gum have you consumed? Because you love gum.
I do love gum.
Like when you're in a pickle and you gotta swallow it.
Maybe like 3 times a year. I'll find a way out of it. Like I hate swallowing it, but there's like you said, sometimes like something just happens. So
give me an example that you can't spit it out.
Someone like offered a bite. I don't know, even just like you're in a place where you have to talk to someone professionally. It suddenly happened out of nowhere. Like this would maybe be an example of like most places. I don't know. You get into a business meeting and you realize you have gum. And you don't want to be like, oh, spit my gum. You just gotta swallow it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Take one for the team.
Oh, I just realized it. But how long does gym take to digest in your body? And it said it's important to note that gym isn't a specific food or substance, so it's difficult to give a precise answer to the question. However, assuming that you meant how long does it take for food in general to digest, we're gonna redo that. Gum.
My mom told me recently her brother is like less than a year apart from her, and I was like, how did that work? And she said back then doctors used to tell you that if you breastfeed you can't get pregnant.
So I was reading ChatGPT's. What kind
So my grandma said, or my grandma had my uncle like less than a year apart from my mom, and my mom said it's because the doctor said if you breastfeed you won't get pregnant if you have unprotected sex, and so that's what they did, and then she got pregnant immediately.
Mental note for all of our breastfeeding ladies out there. Be careful, wrap her up. So now it's true. So it starts off with just saying all the different parts of gum, and it says, but the gum base used in most chewing gums is made of synthetic rubber. These materials are not easily broken down by the digestive system and pass through the digestive tract largely intact. However, contrary to popular belief, swallow gum is not likely to stay in your stomach for years. It will eventually pass through the digestive system and be eliminated in the same way of other food materials. The exact amount of time it takes for gum to pass through your digestive system varies from person to person and depends on several factors, including metabolism, digestive health, and the amount of gum consumed. Generally, gum should pass through the digestive system within a few days and be eliminated through bowel movements. So I guess it's just like some food. I also realized this, like in my mind, like all food just goes through you in like a couple hours. Not the case. Certain foods take longer. Like, well, obviously I knew that, but like something about it was like, oh, some can just stay in there for a couple days.
That is really weird.
Yeah, that's the odd thing. I was like, oh, is that potato still in there from Thursday? Like, you know what I mean? Like weird things like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps up this travel episode,
and not just this travel episode. This travel season. Season 1. It has been a wild road, and there's been some ups and downs, some technical difficulties, but I think we're kind of getting our groove. And we really, when we started this podcast, we knew we wanted to start. We knew our girlies like you guys, girls who like the gym, who like fitness, but also like going out and travel. And we think we found this little community, and we know where we want to take it. We've heard from you guys, and we're like super excited. And with that being said, we wanted to make sure you guys take some time to yourself. Take some time to enjoy the summer. Get off your phone. Touch grass, as we would say. Enjoy the moment. Travel. Hear the sounds of the city, not just a podcast. So we're going to be taking a summer break and then coming back bigger and better than ever. We got some plans for season 2. We got Hit It or Quit It. We got Hit in the News. We got some pop culture.
Hit in the headlines.
And also, you know what? You guys are about to go through be crazy summer. So I want some confessions. I want you guys to, we're here to help you.
Yes.
So come when we're back.
With some wild stories.
Yes, we want to hear wild stories. If you're like drunk and you're like, someone needs to know what's going on, DM us. We want to hear your drunk. Voice memo it.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Maybe we'll play it.
And then we'll come back and we'll have a whole confession session. Just let it off your chest. You're like, I ghosted that guy and he was really nice and he bought me a nice dinner. I need to get this off my chest. DM
We're
us.
the people.
We've got you.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, don't forget to check us out on Instagram or leave us a review.
And you can hit the notification bell on YouTube or on the podcast apps for when our next upload is. Right now, we don't have an exact date. It'll still be Thursdays. It'll probably be the last week of July, first week of August-ish. Somewhere in there will be our next episode. Just in time when you guys go enjoy. And we'll be back for fall to get back into our fit girl fall, back in routine. But get off your routine, go wild. Enter your villain era.
Bye.